Recorded Books presents an unabridged recording of Uprising by Margaret Peterson Haddix, narrated by Suzanne Toren, and directed by Drew Sussman.
Tell me about the fire. Mrs. Livingston stares at the young woman standing before her, the young woman who has barged into her house uninvited, unannounced. Mrs. Livingston is known for her kindness and charity. Her friends say that Mrs. Livingston will listen to anyone who is troubled or lonely or sad, even beggars in the street, even women of ill repute. But Mrs. Livingston cannot hide her disgust at the sight of this young woman with the dark bobbed hair, her trim body swathed in a fine fur coat. "You're one of the daughters," Mrs. Livingston finally says. "Harriet?" Harriet nods, slowly. "Then you were there," Mrs. Livingston says. "You saw what happened." "I was 5 years old," Harriet says. "All I remember is smoke and flames and people screaming and being carried to safety." "Yes, you got out safely," Mrs. Livingston says, "unharmed. So did you." Mrs. Livingston does not disagree. What good does it do to speak of scars no one can see, of grief that never lifts? What would Harriet know of harm? "Ask your father about the fire," she says harshly. Then she considers this, curious in spite of herself. "What does he say? The same things he said in court, when he had a lawyer feeding him lines?" "He won't talk about the fire," Harriet says. "He'd like to pretend it never happened." Mrs. Livingston can believe this. "Read the newspapers, then," Mrs. Livingston says. "There were plenty of stories written at the time." Mrs. Livingston herself has not read any of them. She couldn't back then. But she is always amazed at how much other people know because of the papers. Girls who were away at Vassar or Bryn Mawr or Smith in 1911, who can recite the exact number of the dead. Women who spent their 1911 all but chained to sewing machines in other factories in the city, who can describe exactly how the flames leaped from table to table, from floor to...
Sample complete. Ready to continue?